I'm Ken Egan, Executive Director of Humanities Montana, and it is my privilege to moderate this panel, which is History Doesn't Write Itself. So we'll have an opportunity to hear from 5 distinguished historians who have books out recently, and I have to say at the start, those books are for sale out there. Okay, let's get to the business at hand. I'm excited about this panel. I've had a chance to read the books, and I gotta tell you, they share one strong, important common thread, which is they're all written exquisitely. They're beautiful reads. They are great narratives. So please, please do take time to pick them up. So let me just go ahead and introduce the panelists. Hugh Ambrose is the author of The Pacific, a celebrated nonfiction account of World War II, and he served as the historical consultant for the Emmy Award-winning hit HBO series called The Pacific. In fact, Hugh is going to give a session on that, later today, is that right, Hugh? Yeah, very, very good. So, HBO has in fact hired him to help develop another miniseries. Hugh was the vice president of the National World War II Museum and continues to work for the museum part-time. His career began after he earned a master's degree in history. Hugh has disclosed that he studied with David Emmons, and he seems to have enjoyed it. He sounded a little edge. No, he seems to have learned, and went to work with his father. He went to work with his father, the late historian Susan Ambrose.
Why the Pacific? Why not? I'm a smart ass sometimes. I believe that World War II is the most important event of the 20th century. There have been a lot of great books written about it. And I was lucky enough to work with my father, Susan Ambrose, who wrote some of those great books. Most of those books are about the European theater. It's natural that they do so and focus a little bit more on the European theater because Adolf Hitler presented a greater threat to human civilization than did Emperor Hirohito. We, of course, have a much stronger connection to Europe and our immigration patterns. So there are a lot of reasons why Europe, when people think of World War II, they think of conquering Nazism, and that's fine. I just think that the Pacific is as important to half the world as the defeat of Nazism was to the other half of the world. And when we think of I mean, again, I just can't stress too strongly that the world that we inhabit was in many ways created by the defeat of totalitarianism, fascism, however you want to call what Emperor Hirohito and this religious fundamentalism in which he was a deity, and that the Japanese were, like the Germans, felt entitled by their racial superiority to go ahead and conquer much of the Pacific Rim, and then do unspeakable atrocities upon the peoples that they conquered, that America did a great thing. And America's allies did a great thing in defeating that scourge and helping to foment the march of democracy in the world. So any writer wants to grab a hold of something that they believe passionately is helping to create the framework in which all of our lives have existed. We made a better world. And when I looked at the historiography, after working with my father on these books about the European theater, looking and reading the books about the Pacific, I realized that they tended to be either very thesis-oriented books. They tended to be sort of all-comprehensive books about specific battles or themes, or there are, of course, many, many books written by veterans about their experiences. And I wanted, my book is narrative history. And I really felt there was a place for a book that would take you on that journey from the first battle to the final shot. Just grab a hold of you with the power of narrative. And the guys that I found to represent those experiences are going to take you on this journey. It's very idiosyncratic in that the individual's war is not like the general war, and yet these guys are representative. After 10 years of working on the Pacific, I believe these guys would take you through the important battles, the important issues, and that you would care more about what happened to them. And when they experienced heartbreak, risk, fear, you would see it and feel it and understand it as an event that is occurring to them at that moment, rather than as an historian writing a thesis-oriented thing that has some sort of sentence in there, oh, and by the way, there was very many casualties at this particular battle. Because I think as a starting place, narrative history can lay out the big issues, the important events, and help you see them, and also help you understand why you should care about them. And then finally, we confront an enemy today, the Taliban, that is very much like the Japanese in one basic sense, and that is utter fanaticism. And so in terms of looking at the challenges that we will face as we go forward, studying the Japanese is a good place to begin to understand that. Again, they're not, that similarity isn't broad or deep, but it is in some aspects crucial. And I would say that our ally, as we fight the Taliban, is Japan and Germany, right? That's a great achievement. So, thank you.